Hello listeners, we are your co-hosts Jeanine Bailey and Marie Quigley for the Empower World Coaching and Leadership Podcast. Empower World brings guests who are making a difference to the world to inspire coaches and leaders who lead with mind, heart and soul. Hello and welcome to the next episode of the Empower World Coaching and Leadership Podcast. My name is Jeanine Bailey and I'm here with the lovely, amazing Marie Quigley, my business partner. Hi, Marie.
Hello, Jeanine and listeners. Great to be here with you.
It is great to be here with you. And again, as per our last episode, we are in the same country still. And it is a very warm day here in Lancashire, where I am at the moment.
Yeah, very warm in Yorkshire too.
And I think in both counties we're expecting some rain, maybe thunderstorms. So, yeah, perhaps some new freshness being breathed in.
Exactly. I'm actually looking forward to that because it is stiflingly warm without any AC units in the house.
Yes. It is. I feel like I'm transported a little bit back to Qatar.
Yeah,
our days in Qatar when we weren't in the air-conditioned buildings, perhaps outside. So today, listeners, we are going to look at competency number 2, which is all about embodying a coaching mindset. So, Marie, would you like to start to share what this means to you, this competency?
Yes, well, from the ICF definition, this is about developing and maintaining a mindset that is open, curious, flexible, and very much client-centered. So it's staying in our role as a coach and not moving into consulting or teaching for the purpose of trying to get the client somewhere. It's really understanding that if we have the mindset of coaching, then it means we really are there to explore with a client what's coming up for them, and that the clients are really responsible for all of the choices they make.
Absolutely. And that responsibility piece, as we would have shared perhaps many times, is one of the most powerful elements of coaching. If we truly support our clients to take responsibility, then they are taking their power back instead of giving it away. So that is a big piece of this embodying a coaching mindset. And it's tapping into intuition. It's using perhaps our intuition to support our clients' intuition. And of course, most importantly, supporting our clients to tap into their own intuition. And what I love about this particular competency is the acknowledgement and the awareness that we as coaches, it's about us preparing for our sessions, developing ourselves, developing a reflective practice to support our way of being as a coach. So we're also taking responsibility for how we are showing up in our sessions in service of our client.
Yeah, that's so important, Jeanine. When we're listening to recordings, thinking about the coach embodying a coaching mindset, sometimes you can't see it, but you can feel it in the way that the coach brings themselves and all of their learning. Because if we're constantly doing ongoing learning and development as a coach, our practice becomes deeper, wider, more interesting, more inspiring, more connected to the client. And you might not be able to see it in the ways we ask questions, but there's a sense that the coach is really growing and developing themselves, as you mentioned.
And as we become more aware of ourselves and our blind spots, and knowing that we'll continue to have those, that there will always be, we'll always have blind spots that we can bring to conscious awareness. So as we start to recognize this and do this development, it's also realizing and acknowledging we're part of a system.
Mm-hmm.
We're within a system with our client. There's a system within ourselves, there's a system that we create with our clients. And then, of course, the client has their system, which can expand into all sorts of different areas. So it's, again, that tapping into intuition, creating awareness about what's perhaps here at play, and so much more.
Yeah, and leading on to that, it's about being able to manage and regulate our own emotions when the client is processing something or wanting to explore something, so that we don't get hooked onto the client's story, we don't get lost in their world, but we maintain the coach's role throughout as supportive, collaborative, encouraging and championing them, but not colluding with them in their stories, being that challenger that supports them to think of different perspectives and ways of being to support them to create different outcomes.
So important, Marie, to, yes, we know that we're part of the system, and it's potentially at times using ourselves as instrument to support our client to create new perspectives. And it's also not being in our client's part of their story. It's not getting attached. It is regulating ourselves, being able to see the client as naturally creative, resourceful, and whole. And again, not getting hooked, but remaining at this place where we can support them to unpack whatever is coming up for them, their emotions, their intuition, their energy, their state, to support them again to create more awareness about what's here to learn.
Absolutely. And we can mentally and emotionally prepare for our sessions before we move into the coaching space ourselves, to help us do that, to help us self-regulate. We've got lots of stuff going on in our lives often. We're human beings, of course, as well. So it's, how do we embody this coaching mindset? What are we doing before we even walk into our coaching sessions? What are we doing after the coaching sessions to reflect and develop our own learning? So it's not just about being in the session. There's the pre and the after as well. That's so important to think about as we develop this coaching mindset. And more importantly, I love the word that they use, embody the coaching mindset, because it's like we live in this coaching mindset. We don't just turn up as a coach and then leave as something else. We are that embodied version of this curious thinking partner.
And knowing we're human too. Yeah. So it's really, coming to your sessions prepared and in a state that is going to support ourselves as a coach in service of our client. So it's perhaps creating a ritual when we come into our sessions to support us to let go of whatever has gone on, perhaps even 5 seconds ago, 5 minutes ago, half an hour ago. So it's coming into the session prepared emotionally to be able to support our clients. It's to perhaps detach from what the client is saying. But when I say detach, it's not to not have empathy, but again, not to get hooked, and to be present, fully present with our client, through our whole being, and being able to then perhaps set an intention for the session, the client, yourself, and then supporting your client and coming out. I'm going to say the other side after the coaching session, and as Marie shared earlier, reflecting on where did I do well, where can I celebrate, and where can I do even better.
Yeah. And when you recognize you can do even better, you might feel stuck, you might feel frustrated sometimes with how your progress is going, or you might feel like there's some gaps. Well, it's searching out where you can fill those gaps, where you can get the support. It could be through supervision. It could be through mentoring. It could be by simply reading a book or listening to a video or talking to other people in your community of coaches to find out what they're doing. What are they learning? What are they expanding on? So it's not just about doing the same thing over and over. It's about expanding your own capacity to develop yourself as a human being.
And it could be as easy as having a conversation with a colleague to unpack whatever has happened in support of yourself, and bringing in compassion and being kind to yourself. I know myself as probably my harshest critic. That's something for me to bring in, that compassion and that kindness, to treat myself like my own best friend. As I know many infamous people have shared, treat yourself like your own best friend. So it's something I must remember for myself. So, and I hope that lands for you as well, to take care of you. You are worthy.
So I think that concludes this episode, and we'll continue with the next episode on the next core competency.
Thank you for listening, and we look forward to you joining us next time.
Thanks for listening. You can find out more about us on our website, www.empower-world.com, and on our social media networks, Facebook, LinkedIn, Twitter, Instagram, and YouTube. Be empowered.